This is the full Game 3 VOD of the matchup between T1 and Top Esports from the quarterfinals of Worlds 2024.
Look at that respect.
Yeah, as we enter Champions Select powered by Omen and HyperX, you can already see Carriers, Rakan taken off the board, but I feel like TES are just juggling problem champions to ban. First it was the Vi, then it was the Sejuani, and this is how it feels when you lose the first two games. You have to hope that there's more that they have prepared for this series, because thus far every option has failed them. The Rumble now taken out. They don't want to see it on either side, but the junglers wide open. Sejuani in game one was the pick. The Vi still available for Owner if he wants it, and the Sylas remains the priority for TES.
Okay, and they slam instantly the Gnar as well. With the Jax and Renekton and Cassante and everything all up, they want that versatile pick for Zeus.
And this feels like a call-out. Zeus has gotten the better of 369. Well, and I feel like just full confidence picking Gnar here just means that you feel like you're better.
That's straight up this. You're picking Gnar into Sylas.
Yeah.
That is what's next. They're going to pick Alistair. That's one of the best ultimates that you can possibly get. Oh, that's Fakers.
The Galio, one of the ones we mentioned in the previous game as a possible cook into the Sylas, but shows up here. I will say there is a slight swinging door open for a flex even into support, although that is very far down the draft. Yeah. Would have to be a very big surprise towards the end, but they are red side, and generally they're going to save Carrier's final pick, the counter pick, to red side, so to keep it a little bit open.
Sin coming through, strong mid jungle duo, but I will say with Gnar locked in, you highlighted the Sylas interaction, but also the Rage Bar means that T1 aren't going to have the same liberty to play at arm's length like they did in the previous game. They will need to go in when that Gnar bar is up. It's going to take them about 30 seconds to recharge it. That's not the difficulty Sylas is going to have when he steals that ult away, so they have to be decisive. Now it's the Kai'Sa coming out, the potential for picks here from the side of TES.
IG Kai'Sa slammed here. Let's see it.
For Jackie-Love, it also means that I think with the Ezreal, we already saw him have a lot of agency in a very different way. Kai'Sa does exactly that. The amount of late game teamfight carry potential you have, the possibility of poke come mid to late game is really strong. I do feel like Kai'Sa, contrary to the Ezreal, that starting at 2 items becomes a menace. You need more time, and that is a bit of a gambit given how more time in this series has always favored T1. Guma, last game, I gave some flack to Isaiah. I will remain convinced for now, after that game he played, was able to both maximize damage in the fights and never get touched.
This is the struggle, obviously. Blue side gives you that first pick priority access on the Sylas. The red side for T1 means they're likely to have counter pick for support, so we're already seeing some of the worst defenders taken off the board. The Renata, universally quite powerful. Jungle pool, still relatively open. Again, Sejuani, Vi, both been banned in this series, not banned here.
Area soaking bans here. What will be the final one from TES? These two, of course, the go-to pairings with the Xayah. And Carrier doesn't have to go with another engaged support, but he very well might. It's opt to go for the Vi instead here. Take it away from Owner, who has been so good at it at Worlds with it so far.
Owner's pick expected to come through here.
Sejuani is,
yeah.
Malachi even is a well, not into a Sylas.
Yeah, he already has enough good ultimate.
They already gave him the Gnar. I don't think they want to give him anything else.
Oh,
okay.
Yep, that
even better.
Oh, that is such a sick pick into everything that TES has so far. Literally all of them.
How many times yesterday did we see Peanut block a Kai'Sa for being able to dive into the back line and finish a kill off? And that is what TES want to be able to do with all these champions. Find these isolated targets, pick them off for the Galio before anyone else can get involved.
Also, like, you're running, again, a dive, a short-range comp into Poppy Galio. That's also always going to be tough. I think you need to go for something like a Hail Mary, but
it's still a flex.
You're literally diving into anti-dive right now.
Yeah.
You are full diving into full anti-dive. That is a scary proposition for TES.
That's not great.
That is a very scary proposition for TES, but you can't pull off the brakes now. You're already really committed to full dive, so they're going to full send it. But T1 have literally some of the best, if not the best, anti-dive in the entire game drafted for themselves.
Also, just Mertrez is insane in this game. The damage reduction, the tenacity. Now, again, the Poppy remains a flex. We saw Peanut bring it out in the jungle. Poppy support, super popular at MSI, less successful here at Worlds thus far. What is the angle?
Ooh. We don't trust Carrier, guys. Don't worry. We'll see what actually ends up getting locked in here. I do think continuing with the theme of counter dive definitely is the way to go.
The global pressure extends the pike!
And that goes all the way back to the DRX Carrier days. This man loves his pike.
It feels so poetic against what could be an elimination game for yet another LPL team against T1. Another name on the list for T1. How many times have they taken down an LPL representative? How many times have they knocked down the hopes of this region? It's volatile, it's explosive, and I'll be honest, it's pretty damn risky, but T1 are gonna go for the pike.
I think it's a really good pick into stuff like the Xin. You know, they want to try and pressure Tien and look for picks on him. The jungle plus support duo here is just so lethal. Poppy already counters Xin mobility, which is very limited to begin with, and Pyke can punish it over and over and over. You burn that Xin flash one time, it feels like support jungle is massively, massively in the favor there of T1. They also have legendary Faker at Worlds, Galio, at their back, ready to throw down Galio ultimates. I foresee the beginning of this game, Owner and Keria being able to run wherever they want and determine the pace.
And again, a game where Keria has so much agency. We haven't seen Pyke since 2022 Worlds. This is a champ that, similar to the Rakan, can be anywhere, can dance around a lot of these picks. The difference, Pyke does a hell of a lot of damage early on. If he goes for the Hail of Blades, this is going to be tough to match.
Plus, it's a huge pressure on your mid lane matchup because this Galio pick into Sylas is already threatening, has so much setup potential, and now you're gonna have to worry about Pyke roams from bottom lane, Poppy possible ganks as well from Owner. There's so much potential here. TES though, they have to dig deep. Our whole site has to be on TES right now. This is a must-win game for them to keep their year alive.
And in their first best of 5, back at MSI, right, which was Cream's first international, they were able to crawl their way back to a game 5, and then unfortunately dropping to Gen G, but that was the eventual tournament winner. But what was much more harrowing was then the follow-up series, where they got 3-0'd. And you gotta imagine the amount of pressure on these players just to ensure that it does not happen again is something that's going to be weighing heavily on their minds as we go into this possibly final game.
And for Tien, early jungle pick, a proactive early jungler. Diego wasn't successful. The Ivern was not successful. This is our featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz for damn good reason, because this is the house that this man won Worlds in. And now he's on the cusp of yet another failure for a TES team that has been haunted for years. Keria pulling away the blue, resetting the early pathing, and already it's starting off with a small edge.
They can do it again.
Pyke value showing up already here for Keria. As you can see, Owner on the opposite side of the map because of the lane swap, starting on enemy Wolves with the Poppy and cleanly clearing their side of the map. Keria now trying to get his level 2 in mid lane. Again, the top laners have the ability to teleport over. They try and defend with the level 2 tops and level 2 supports.
This pairing of Gumayushi and specifically Zeus and Gnar to just mow down turrets is something that T1 have been using actually really consistently. They love this pairing of Guma together with Zeus on a pick that can actually push nicely early. We'll see how much value they're going to get out of it this time around.
And you can see level 2, they'll just delete that wave, the power of the Boomerang, as well as the Feather Collar. Faker and Keria try to get a bit of work done in the mid lane. Again, Pyke alone does a lot of damage in those early levels. A Bone Skewer into the triple auto from Hail of Blades, usually enough to take about half the health of any level 1 or level 2 champion.
So Keria's going to try and slip in for the defense here. Owner actually went back to base, so they're going to teleport in top lane and try and 3-person defend, but Keria getting pushed out from even getting to the tower itself. Owner is on the way walking. Guma is also walking, so they keep Zeus topside while everybody else from T1 walks.
Zeus, able to snipe a little bit of XP there without having to overcommit. Waiting to see if the TP would come through. Getting so much. 369 delayed on the recall. Keria stunned. Pyke squishy early on, but obviously after the drown, keeping him relatively topped up.
That stun had hit so close there. Does not get the stun under the tower though.
Yeah, because Jackie actually did have turret aggro. Took one, which is why his health bar kind of got chunked. The short-term benefit definitely here for TES. The advantage that T1 got out of that is that Zeus still has his TP. Whereas 369 had to use it to go towards the top half of the map. But early gold lead, as you would expect in a lane swap, goes to the team that has their normal lane or has their multitude of members towards the bot side of the map.
Yeah, teleport advantage and experience advantage for the Gnar here, for Zeus. And an exceptional performer for this squad. Again, last couple of years, he has knocked out 369 as well, regardless of 369 being on a different team.
Will be the third year in a row.
And sadly for TES, JDG was in semis both times the 369 was knocked out. It was not a quarterfinal. But they might not even get to see semis.
Might is good. Mako
chase. Phase rush as well, so he'll be able to get another auto down, just zoom after Mako, ensure that he can really just not do anything on the map. Carry on the way as well.
See how deep they go with it.
Follow-up stun, forces the flash. And Mako has to respect this because the burst damage in early levels from Poppy and Pyke together is incredible.
Yeah, Garia was pretty deep, so he ends up having to flash himself as well. Owner was already rotating to this top side.
Tien, can he cover this dive? 369, not really great wave clear. Meganar fading away. Zeus a little bit more vulnerable. But you can see that XP advantage paying off as 369 tries to get what he can.
But he doesn't have TP, so any damage that can come down onto him is gonna really stick.
Yeah, Zeus with the experience advantage, with the teleport advantage, chunking away, poking under tower, working away at half of a turret plate already.
Right now, T1 constantly active on the map. TES doing a good job of at least staying even in terms of overall gold. They're kind of forced to respond to what T1 is doing. Hook is excellent. Follow-up is there. Ignite 2! It's a clean combo!
He knew! The setup, again, as we said, is always available in the Galio-Silas matchup. Keria is there. They easily execute. And T1, they start their snowball. They craft it in the lane swap and in mid lane first.
And it's the Pyke that gets the kill as well. And there's a lot of supports where getting an early kill doesn't feel too impactful, but this pick snowballs so insanely well when you can get the early items.
And we'll see what the early itemization choice is, if it's still something like Umbral, if he wants to provide that additional utility to the team. But regardless, this is so frustrating because it feels like for 3 games now, Keria has been so active on the map for the entire duration of the game, and it's something that TES have not been able to stymie, slow down, or stop. Mako once again on the back foot. Yes, he has Leona, such a powerful pick. But Keria has just been able to be in more places thanks to the Bard, thanks to things like this Pyke.
2 Galio ults available here as we do have our first grub fight on our hands. Ona gets the smite.
Smite level 5. Probably very, very tanky. Nice interrupt coming in from Ona. That's steadfast presence. Tien still full health, so second grub is going to go over to the side of TES. Good to have that early boon. Again, 4 grubs, the threshold, but in an excellent position for the second spawn. T1 trying to get some bot lane priority, but don't have the best early dragon contest.
What's been so cool to watch T1 in this series, of course the outplays, you know, and the execution in their fights, but also they haven't taken any of these unnecessary fights from their perspective. You know, giving up the ones that they, well, let's see about this chicken fight first.
Taunt being down big, but Baker is able to just punch his way out to safety.
And what the Bard and the Pyke have in common as well, and in this game we did actually end up lane swaps, is that the amount of impact that Keria had, I think, domestically was negligible. The coordination wasn't there. So him, particularly on these extremely heavy roam champions, actually making the plays work out really big. I also want to highlight, as might have a player Cream again.
Going in, into the taunt, follow-up CC there. Cream getting lower and lower. Don't quite have the first damage to finish him off, but yeah, no TP, so that damage is going to stick. He has 3 biscuits and a pot. He's going to need to start chugging immediately.
Owner is on his way over on the Poppy as well. They're just pushing him out. Look at the zoning. You don't have to even go for too much more. You just push Cream away from the big old minion wave. Deny a couple of minions there at the tower. Make TES call the rest of their resources. Call over Tien, call over Mako to even help Cream be able to salvage the minions.
Something I do really like, want to highlight this, even though it is going to impact the team fighting, is that it looks like 369 is actually going for AD cannon. Because you already have the Kai'Sa, you have the Silas, you're not really in need of AP. The downside is that the team fighting value is really going to be struggling. And To me, AD Cannon is one of those picks that is very win more. And with the way that the early lane played out, Zeus had an early level lead, so you haven't actually been able to build the lead that I think you need for this pick to work inside.
It's true. And T1 also have the Pike, which is also a win more style pick. And so it feels like whichever team, similar to last game, is able to find that edge, a significant gold lead of any kind, is really set to run away with this game 3 in a situation where TES are down 2 games. They have to find advantage. 369 walking up.
Barriers here.
Mako going forward, not quite able to find the knockback into the wall. TN still has ultimate. Mako taking his time. Resistance is now fading away. An excellent use of the steadfast presence. Galio coming in. Faker en route. Jackie Love isolating Guma. Faker stepping up, and TN there to body block for the team. Keep your eyes on that pike hook. TN pulled over the wall. Owner! Not quite able to find the wall bang. TN now forced to retreat. Cream going in. Hasn't taken an ulti quite yet. Ulti response from the Poppy, though. Can just keep the channel going, get that cooldown down to 15 seconds. And Zeus just trying to clear this wave as quickly as he can, but Mega is getting stacked.
He has flash.
Zeus should be in trouble, but he makes the move first! He looks him dead in the eye and says, I dare you!
And Cream even had the Gnar ultimate, but Zeus was still ahead of him.
T1 strike first again. Under tower, pressured, low health bars, and the flash comes through into the wall, comboed into Faker's taunt, and T1 3-0 on the board.
And the confidence and execution has just been better for T1 across this series, and we see it again. They had all of the tools to kill that Gnar, but in the seconds that rage bar ticked up, they didn't go fast enough. They weren't confident enough to take that play, and it all fell apart. Cream still has access to this Gnar ultimate for a little bit longer. Maybe he can get something back, but it's starting to feel like the writing is on the wall.
T1 have just looked fearless in this whole series. Last game was most evident in the quick plays. Here, these small advantages are actually accrued by TES. The big chunks in health bar on Owner, on Zeus there. The Galio ultimate already down. But look, Keria looks for another play. They get a flash out of TN, then Cream comes over with the extra health bar, and they want to force it. The small things, Conqueror here, already stacked by Cream. He wants to keep it up. They turn towards Zeus.
And you can see the desperation, because even if they somehow get an ultimate, like Zeus was gonna hit Mega no matter what in that play. And I think it's the pressure getting to TES. They could have opted out of that play and just taken the summoners, but they don't, and that might very well be it.
And Zeus says, you may have stolen my ultimate, but you're just the knockoff version. Shows him the real thing.
And now second grub spawn. This is the thing, it's not just the gold to Zeus, it's control of the map, it's control in the 1v1. It's a 1,000 gold lead for Faker in the isolated 1v1 versus Sylas.
And this was the champion that Faker used to desperately try and 1v9 his way to another Worlds win, right? Fell short, got dispatched by Samsung. And in this game, still the most fed member, by the way, making the impact on the side lanes as they look for another possible play onto Zeus. But now, because of those kills, or because of the assists rather, like Zeus has a lead into this AD matchup. It looks like Cream is gonna possibly get zoned off of the wave again.
Keria is a menace. This whole series, T1 dominating. Cream just has to watch.
And there's nothing he can do. Waits for the wave to get trimmed a little bit before he can even step up. Knows that he has to clear it, and again with Death from below available, Ignite, Halo Blades, a Pike ahead of the curve, and a Galio that already has enough MR to mitigate any damage Cream could hope of doing. There's just so few angles to play. When you have the AD Cannon, when you have the Sylas, if you get a lead, you can really take over the map. But they're behind so early. They're behind before Cannon's even completed an item.
I already dislike AD Cannon, so as soon as you start talking about it.
Yeah, I pointed it out, and I wish you guys could have seen Kobe's face. Because I'm like, oh, maybe, and Kobe was not. I mean, he's not having it.
I mean, dream scenario is you can like get to a point where you're playing side lanes, but they haven't been able to play.
You're also playing into Galio. I know you have Sylas, but even then.
Also into Pike, right, who can just collapse on the side lane so quickly as, again, Keria continues to wreak havoc. Good on TES. They are able to grab the objective. We're better on the setup. Did get the push out. Still behind, but holding on to something in this game.
The idea is we can play a large map. We can try and draw them apart. We have Jackie Love on Kaisa. We can try and make some trap plays.
Try to collapse,
but because they just keep getting behind so early here to T1 by simply outplaying them, it just seems like it is so out of reach.
Look at the siege.
Guys,
Mid lane turret is just getting obliterated. TES continuously getting bullied off these turrets, and they have another desperation play in them. But like the gold lead is very quick. We're talking about 3.5K at 30 minutes.
What's terrifying is as the series has progressed, T1 have gotten more dominant in every single game. And yes, last game was slow. It came down to 1 or 2 fights, but they had executed when it mattered. TES need to be willing to get aggressive. They need to be able to fish for these picks. This one probably won't work because Faker, again, doesn't take damage.
He is Mercs and Hollow Radiance.
Yeah.
He's not taking damage.
1.7K gold ahead, fully built. Like, Faker is built different, and it is going to be too difficult to take him down.
I never knew what we meant by that was Mercs and Hollow Radiance, but now I understand very specifically what people mean when they say he's built different. As Pike going in, Phantom Undertow is clean, 369 running.
Oh, come on!
Hold on to the flash, but there's Owner! The flash, the knock back into the wall, the knock up as well. Mites coming in. T1 making a montage out of TES in game 3.
TES coming for the closing on the play.
Don't do it to a MasterCard. Don't do it to him. Oh, the lane economy is bad. The economy is difficult. The economy is rough for TES again. Need to find angles, need to find fights, but a 5K gold difference before 15 minutes. TP in. T1 know they're stronger. They just want to keep fighting. They want to further cement their leads. Zayas, Rage perfectly stacked. Cream, a chance of redemption. Can he find the angle this time around? The hook back. He's forced to flash away. Zayas shepherding them in. No play here for T1. Maybe a bit over eager.
Looks like mid will fall to the minions there. So T1 not even going to be that sad about that trade.
Another hook. Jackie Love forced to cleanse. Not quite in range of the taunt. T1 almost getting the perfect combo.
I'm going to have nightmares about Carius Pike, honestly.
I was about to say,
is he going to hook you next?
Well, I don't know.
Hold on to me.
I got you, Kobe. Don't worry. We're not going to let him get to you.
Gary's going to hook you down to the stage.
The problem is, Carry is not only terrifying TES, he's also going to ruin solo queue. Because everyone who thought, you know, maybe I don't need to play this champion, maybe it's not worth.
The Bards and Pikes are going to be everywhere.
The Bards and Pikes are out tonight, boys. Halloween is coming early this year.
I want to give a little piece of wisdom by Carrier himself. You are not T1 Carrier, and your team is not T1. Do not attempt to play this. And we're making jokes because it feels like this game is just completely out of control. Maybe TES can find the turn.
This has to be it. They have to get something here, but Owner's already walked away. Taunt coming from Faker. Nice ulti coming in from Cream. Owner set to fall.
That's one.
They could get a tower as well. The minion wave on bottom side. Maybe they can just push out this wave. They're not done.
Carrier going in, finds the initial stun. No, Tien able to sidestep on the Phantom Undertow. Guma. Gnar there for Zayas. Wall up there, coming in as well. Zayas getting lower. TES trying to hold on to the fights. Tien now chasing in. Jackie Love quick to follow. Guma has the ulti, has the cleanse, has the flash. Feathers go up, comes down, walks away, knows that this is not their fight. TES striking back in this crucial game 3.
The second kill plus, they can keep pushing.
Another hook. Carry's not done. Jackie Love's out of tools. Going to the depth. No, it's clean! This man plays Pike. You love to see it. The ult. Not there for the execute. There for the range extension on the Phantom Undertow.
Still, TS got to focus on the objectives. Tower that they were pushing towards on the bottom side. They need every bit of gold they can find on the Rift, and they find a tiny bit more there.
These are the moments where if TES is going to make their way back, it's going to have to start small, individual pickoffs.
Yep. One step at a time.
T1 feel invulnerable with the lead that they have, but they are not ready for this teleport. This time Cream does actually get a really nice Gnar into the wall, allowing him to take out Owner. And then T1, again, as T1 does, goes in very aggressively. Crucially, Cream doesn't get hit by Zayas. So then Zayas is in Narnia. Faker doesn't actually deny Jackie Love access to the fight, and they're able to get another kill.
Good fight. Overall, you can see
This was Carrier.
This is how you know.
Look at the threading.
The bad Pikes, ult is just an execute. The good Pikes,
Jackie.
oh yeah.
Oh, the reposition using the ultimate to ensure the stun lands after the flash.
Jackie walked out of the comfort of those minions.
That's Lopark having a good time.
Look at the confidence. Carrier, that man is locked in. That man is laser focused. But the good news again for TES. T1 have not won yet. Cream, the potential to steer that Gnar ultimate in all the fights to come, only getting more and more AP. T1 over-eager in the previous fight, and TES now with much better tools to punish. And again, Pyke is not a champion who scales gracefully into the game. Later, he's just going to get one-shot by any piece of CC.
And can TES get to the point where they do pull T1 across the map? Now that both side lane towers are down, they're threatening these trailing plays, walking behind 369 as he pushes up. 369 with the teleport available as they go for the jungle invade. Owner again with the smite actually secures.
Steadfast presence comes out a little bit early, perhaps. T1 walking away. TES starting to move up. You can see them grouping so much. No one is responding to top wave yet. They're going to send Cream to catch it. They're going to at least clear out mid, try to use that pressure to get some control somewhere on the map.
With the game state, again, 4.5k gold lead, definitely quite rough. My main thing, we haven't really talked about him yet, is the fact that Guma is disaccelerated. Specifically, him on Xayah gives so much additional safety in team fights. I think we saw in the previous fight he wasn't really able to be a big part of it, which was a large reason of why TES was able to actually make the plays. But Jackie only sitting on an item. We talked about this, the spike for this Kai'Sa isn't really going to be the same way it was, and that was also a very different game state with the Ezreal being even, as opposed to really far behind. But you really need that third item before you become a big menace. And with Guma being as far ahead as he is, I think TES is going to have to find a way to get on top of the Xayah. Infinity Edge now done as well.
But getting on top of anyone on T1 has been the struggle of TES across the entire series. They're just always out of reach.
Again, because in draft, T1 recognized very early on that you're going to go for dive, and so they're drafting all this counter dive. Galio, Poppy, Xayah, even Gnar. And T1 here pushing out once again, sending Faker to the top side with his newly completed Riftmaker.
Area.
It's a lot of people.
He's a little bit crazy. It's just going to swap places there. The hook, the Phantom Undertow. Now TES starting to get back to that vision control. Umbral Glaive allowing T1 so much more control. As long as it's not off cooldown, you know you're invisible on the map.
Gold lead has been very stable though, and for TES, I think that's the best you're going to get in a situation like this. Try and trade as evenly as you can. As you get deeper into the game, those relative differences of items are going to matter less. I do got to say though that this 80 cannon, again, the position that you're in, you're 900 gold behind on a pick that really needs to get an early lead and kind of run away with it. You want to be able to actually match the teamfight impacts of the Gnar.
Plus, the problem right now is, even if you want to play so much on side lanes and on a spread map, it's really difficult the way the game is set up with objectives to actually fully win a game that way. And so, at some point, you're going to be forced to try and go through a Poppy and through a Galio ult. T1 here, though, poking around, try and flirt with a possible red steal, but it will not be theirs. TES secure it.
Keria, again, going very deep for these plays.
Constantly off to the side, but again, he has Mercs, able to walk away initially. Poppy ult coming out, but it's not enough! Key pick. T1 now trying to disengage desperately, but Cream going in. Gumayushi not going to force to ult.
Mako's had enough. Mako has had enough of Keria's antics. The punish is good from TES, but unfortunately for them, there is no big objective to take, and so it's just the kill money for now.
But good to get that money back. Crucial to get that money back. Again, 2 items on Jackie. You talked about 3 items when that poke can start to come through. Stop T1 from being able to find fights so reliably. Even with MR in the inventory, that Kai'Sa poke would be insurmountable.
Faker's on his way.
Faker off to the side. 369. But it's Faker versus 4 here on the bottom side. Faker can force ult out. Being zoned off, ensuring that Xayahs can push the wave, but that TP not really amounting to much.
Yeah, they want to take advantage since Cream was up on top side with no teleports to be able to join, but the rest of T1 also a bit too far for the real trap.
And I will say that the discipline we saw from T1 in Game 1 and Game 2 isn't quite as omnipresent.
Well, I think most of them have been very disciplined. I think Keria has not. As you do when you play Pyke.
That's fair.
Definitely trying to style a little bit, but do not underestimate TES. Still, the team fighting potential of this team. Again, I want to go in that Gnar ultimate that Sylas can steal. With Jakilov now hitting his 2-item spike, see if they're able to use that as... If they lose another fight, then the Baron becomes available for T1. They have control of the pit, started the objective here. as Zeus does just now timeout on his Meganar.
Good fight timing. Carrier not gonna hit the hook, forced back for at least a few seconds.
There's the TP.
TP now coming in,
Derek's
369, not the AP Kennen again, is about to just get one shot completely here. Carrier fighting the kill onto 369. TES trying to fire back, but they're down a man. There might not be a Meganar for T1, but they might not need it. Tien, at the very least, getting the steal. Retreat coming out. Carrier will not find the hook.
Might go towards Nash. Is T1. Don't see the pings going down, but they are very clearly thinking in that direction. No 369, 20 seconds, does have the teleport available.
Cream no ultimate, Kennen no ultimate, Tien no ultimate. This is such
They
a
do have
brutal
vision.
fight.
No, it's not being started yet.
That blue ward is crucial. Guma gonna start it. They're baiting. They're forcing T1 to come respond. Or sorry, excuse me, TES to respond. Mako. Where's the hook gonna go? Faker right on top of Mako. Cream doesn't really have a recourse here. Owner looking for the knockback, but Cream the ulti just in time. Knocking it too. Jackie Love still standing. Carrier running for the hills. It's all about this 80 carry. It's all about Jackie Love. 369. No ulti. Maybe no hope. Flashback onto the ultimate from Zeus. The taunt not gonna connect. Crucially, the stun coming in from 369. TES. Jackie Love fighting their way back in game 3. But Guma stands strong. The blades are called, the feather's there, Jackie Love gone, Carrier stepping up, the hook not going to hit. Zeus running, a close fight, but T1 still standing.
And so much is invested there, but the fight, even though it was close, still not going the way of TS, but crucially, they deny the Baron attempt here from T1.
Look at the face check here, right into Faker again, so you think it's gonna be all over as they just burst down. Mako put the return damage. Jackie firing, gets the first kill for them, takes down Owner, and then it's all about the focus damage. Jackie flashes both Faker and Zeus for the re-engage. The Galio shield barely keeping him up. Jackie commits to go finish him, and Guma punishes.
But at that point, like that Galio is out of the fight, going in that aggressively might come back to bite you. You used both summoners. You got the kill on the tank, but Guma got the immediate shutdown. And T1 still trying to actually close out this game. Guma now on free items on the Zaya.
TES showing some life, though, in these fights. Fighting back. They are not going to go down that easily. Let's see about the next attempt, because they're grouping for it.
Can't afford to make a mistake, though. 2.5 items to 3. Guma's looking powerful. Good interrupt on the initial engage coming in from Mako. No re-engage option there. Locket gone. Zeus on the side, but he just went mini. And
That
T1,
was a tumultuous blast cone.
a little bit awkward. Hook from Carrier. Follow-up, Cream forced to dash, and Protobelt again. T1 just chipping away at these TES cooldowns.
Jackie has to be so careful now, too. No summoner spells on the Kaisa. With Guma having both, you have to think that Zaya will just be so
They do have
safe.
vision with the crab that they got, so know that Baron isn't being started. T1 still fishing. I don't think they're really going to get anything here.
Guma trying to do a little baiting maybe even here with the Zaya, with ult and double sums. Very confident to
And
take
they
a
go,
minion wave.
this is such an easy Baron for T1. If TES walk into this 3-item Zaya, they will get
Nasher's
slaughtered.
done for Jackie. That's that free item power point, but I don't know if he's going to be in
late to the
time.
objective.
Burn, burn, burn.
369. Kennen ready to go. 3K getting lower. Knocked back by Owner. Finishes the job, and now it's Mako who's been caught out. T1 with the Baron. They're looking to grab the pick as well. Flashback from Mako. TES trying to stand strong. Zeus ready to go into the midst of the fight. Knockup not going to connect from the Galio. TN starting to walk forward. TES do not want to let them walk away with this Baron buff, but they might have to. TN going in. A little bit of poke going back. Jackie Love again, the AP he needs to continue to harass, but T1 crucially walk away with the Baron.
Mako has to go back to base. They actually got such a good Poppy ultimate combined with Faker trapping Mako for the big damage and earning the extra health bar lead. After they had already acquired the Baron, now they can push out.
Guma still had his sums, had his ultimate available there, right? If you over dive into that and he can just kite back with the feathers. Now he's level 16!
I mean, and the thing is, you have to fight him. You have to go into him. Your
There's
wave
no
clear.
choice.
Your wave clear on this team is abysmal. Yes, you're so good at these scrappy fights, the side lane Kennen, but it's not AP Kennen. He can't just one-shot. He can't one-shot clear a wave. And so the options for TES are starting to dwindle one by one in the face of this T1 Baron buff.
Yeah. 369, actually, he was the one getting one shot at the last Dragon fight.
Yeah.
Going right next to the wall this time around With Dragon spawning very shortly, T1 have an easy way to pick up the bottom tower. Keria actually is tanking it.
Still a lot of HP for that, but has the Baron empowered recall, so we'll be fine. And now the collapse from T1. Recognizing the 369, trying to put pressure on the side wave.
Another TP!
And again, another situation, flash out from Guma.
It's good.
Positive trade
They
on the
got
top
the trap.
side. Owner gonna get taken down, good trap, knockback, no he's not!
Come on!
He gets them both! Cream chasing. No one else here, but surely he can take down Owner. Knockback, the Poppy zooming, the chain lash should surely get the job done, and it will. Keria won't be able to save the jungler, but it costs so much for TES.
Dragon's up!
TES, they just keep holding on by such a small margin. Critical pick taking down T1's jungler. No
Also
spite
gone.
for T1
Double
now.
TPs and a massive wave bot side.
Oh, they
Someone on
also-
TS has to respond.
They also got the flash from Guma. Tian actually doing a lot of damage, but Guma, he's just soloing the dragon!
Can TS look for something while Owner is down?
Zeus, again, stacking that rage. TES have to be
afraid.
careful. They can't afford to take the fight when Meganar is present. Jackie Love's summoner spell cooldowns right around the corner. Flash about to be up. Maybe then TES can try to find their fight.
And TES, they don't want this to be a repeat of their 3-0 at MSI. Trying their very hardest, still clinging on to this game, even though it is tenuous. Jackie Love about to hit his Void Staff, slowly getting closer to the penetration item for Cream as well. But I do think, again, if that damage doesn't land on the Guma, I don't know how much of it matters.
Initial hook, just a bit of poke, though. At least no Mako's there.
He's low.
Guma isolated, forced to ult a little bit earlier than anticipated. Phantom Undertow to try to cover the retreat. T1 backing up. TES looking to gain control of the mid-wave. Meanwhile, 369 to the bottom lane, pushing up, putting that pressure on T1, but T1 might just look for the 5v4. Area hook going wide. Still has the spell shield for now, however.
Guma can just heal up off the jungle camps right now, but the split push is taking its toll. Another minion wave here up to the tower. 369 taking away extra turret health. Meanwhile, T1 actually makes a cross map play.
Tier 2 likely for Tier 2, but Cream is stepping up.
Gonna take him a while. Compared to that 80 cannon.
Going in, finds the initial stun, steals away the Pike ulti. Keria instantly gone, knows he can't afford that one. So it will be the trade in the end, but good defense from Cream to stop them from getting anything else.
Look at Jackie. See if he can find a W. Doesn't look like it. Keria not gonna give him the opportunity.
Keria is incredibly vulnerable when that spell shield is not available.
TES holding on, sticking in this series, just barely. See big item completions coming through for T1 though. It gets harder and harder and harder.
Oh, maul for Guma.
I mean, they're so much magic damage. 80 cannon is, it's tough to balance.
But he kind of has to with the comp, right? The reason
Yeah.
he's doing it is because Jackie wanted to go
No,
AP
no,
Kai'Sa.
100%. And AP Kai'Sa is incredibly, like, the poke is so good against the T1 comp that really doesn't have any poke of their own. So there's a world where, as it starts to even up, as these goal differences start to mean less and less, where TES can just sit at arm's reach, the same way that T1 have done to them the last two games. They just poke with this Kai'Sa.
Breakpoint, though, is going to be this Baron fight, because T1 is 100% going to try and take that. While their lead is as big as it is, 3 items on Zeus, 3 items on Faker, 4 items on Guma. But we are slowly getting to the point where, as you mentioned, I think particularly Jackie Love having the agency, looks like he's going for the Crypt Bloom, trying and get the poke, trying and keep that backline of T1 guessing.
How much power is in that IG Kai'Sa, that world champion? Is it enough to put a stop to T1's dominance in this series?
And this is a team built on legends of years past. 369's won MSI, Jackie Love, Mako, Tian, all winning worlds on different lineups in different years. To go out like this again, to go out with, well before you're supposed to, against a T1 that no one expected to perform at this tournament. Against a T1 that took down so many seeds of the LPL, each and every single one of them last year would be crushing. In a city where Tian himself won worlds.
Yeah, there it is. As expected, T1, look at the darkness, Umbro Glaive. It's only going to be the poke from Jackie that can try and provide a little bit of vision in the darkness.
Another Baron, another round of baits. The dance continues. T1 have gotten so many picks throughout this entire series. baiting on Baron. Now they're just going to try and burn through it. Again, they start
Oh, it's
damage.
just gone.
Guma's not even showing that he's doing damage to Baron. He's poking at mid, now they go. The Squires is there.
TP immediately coming in from 269, but he's behind the team. He's not looking to play for the flank. Objective getting burned down. TN doesn't really have access into the pit. Two-man taunt coming in as well. Carrier starting to step up. Solar Flare going a bit wide, but it's Cream on the flank. Cream has to do so much, but the feathers are there! Oh, Guma usually was just one step ahead. The flank denied, but the rest of TES trying to make good on what Cream put together.
Faker is down. T1 just have to leave the price they paid for that Baron.
Does mean a possible soul point here for TES. As that exit kill was big, the TP to come in. They have to force the issue right now while Faker is dead. And not allow T1 to use the power of this Baron buff.
Cream still has the Nora ultimate. Still that lingering threat. Guma, flash, cleanse, ult. It has to come down to him if they want to stop this.
Barriers behind them.
How much can the Pike do in isolation? Spell shield there. Waiting as long as possible.
Heart attacks all game long.
T1 doesn't have to go for this though. They can just push with Baron if they decide to do so.
They want the fight. Meganar stacked, ready to go. Cream again on the flank, the objective already down. Again, TES, good discipline. They walk away immediately, but they need to take care of these waves.
One cannon minion here for T1 to push with. Don't know if they'll be able to do much though, because Faker's got to catch bottom.
And credit to TES. Yes, they concede Baron, but at this kind of deficit, it feels like an inevitability short of a desperate flash in. Cream has a decent flank. It's interrupted initially, but that kill onto Faker buys TES a bit more space, a bit more time, slows this Baron down. There's only 90 seconds, 3 waves more left on this Baron buff. They've already handled 2 of them.
Yep, TS getting options for themselves. Jackie able to poke with the Kaisa W's now. Options for the side lanes as well. They don't have teleports currently, so T1 should have the big advantage in side lanes and looking for the trap play. TS might have to worry a little bit, but Jackie continues to grow. Level 17 now for that Kaisa.
And Guma's maxed out. Like, yes, level 18 full build now. Finishes his BT, which I do really like into Kaisa specifically. The extra sustain makes a big difference because this poke really hurts with Quick Bloom now done. But it does feel, again, with some of the mid-game discipline lacking from T1 and TES not giving up, not taking the punches, but instead looking for counterplay, have given them another opportunity to try and claw their way back into this best of 5.
Credit to TES, this game looked done at 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And they have fought back. They have found a way. They've punished T1 where they can. They bought the time that they needed for Jackie Love to scale up, and that's the most you can do. And now the question is, as the fights are starting to get closer and closer and the gold lead means less and less, can they find one more fight to even up this game?
Jackie with the Knight's Vow on him from Mako, and the hopes of TES resting on his shoulders. Can they find another pick?
They can't just dive in. Is the problem. Their engage is fairly lackluster, right? You're only looking at Carrier trying to hook, and that side wave is getting pushed in again.
Mako has pulled out a few plays though. See if he can do it again. Some snappy flashes.
And we talked about it earlier, but Carrier's at the point in the game where if he missteps, he dies immediately. Hook not going to connect. Mako taunted. Wind becomes lightning. Fighting in the choke, though. Difficult against Guma, who does so much work. Easy kill pick up. TS! Caught napping! T1 obliterate them in the blink of an eye.
Is that really how it ends? Just like that? There's no Jackie, there's no Cream, they can't go these waves!
T1 continue to march forward undeterred, unstopped. TN barely escaping, but T1 aren't done. They don't even have a wave. They might not even care. Zayas goes in for the crunch. The wave on the way. T1 looking to knock TES out. The inevitable march forward. T1 refused to lose a best of 5 to the LPL. They add TES to the long list of teams that they have taken down. T1 at Worlds are Titans, and they move on to the semifinals.